everyone. Welcome back to the Embodied Ascension channel. So, one of the biggest things that has been coming up in my field recently is working with anger. And I know it sounds counterproductive because we are love and unity and all of that. But when you have suppressed your voice for so long, there are many moments in your life that you've been angry. Like you have been so angry that you've been suppressed. And for some people, and I know this was true for me, that I suppressed my voice and my anger for so long that I didn't even know what anger felt like. Like I didn't, every time I was frustrated, it actually came out as sadness. Like every time that I was hurt, that no one heard me, I would actually well up with tears and I would actually like cry instead of feeling upset. I just felt sad. And so there's a big part of us that what we truly desire is to be loved, to be heard, and to be seen. And when we didn't have that as children, we just repress our anger. So when you work with, I, I know some people call it like the dark feminine, the dark masculine, the basically the shadow, right? When you consciously work with anger, you can liberate yourself. And we are we are in no way bypassing our human experience. So we can understand unity consciousness and loving others while also honoring our own feelings. That if something doesn't feel right and that we feel angry, that we have a channel to express that, right? And so in my visualizations, I've been working with anger and my inner child. I work with my inner child a lot because the inner child really is your foundation. So, um, you can bring in these beautiful frequencies and connect to Christ consciousness and connect to these amazing, amazing frequencies to help you anchor new frequencies. But we also must release our old frequencies connected to anger. So I usually go within, and we can do this exercise right now to help you release some anger and to reclaim your power. When you honor your feelings, you're actually reclaiming your power. So I want you to close your eyes and tune in to your inner child. And with the intention of releasing repressed anger, I want your subconscious to show you where where have you been feeling blocked? Where have you been feeling so angry, but you haven't had an outlet to express it? And I just want you to give yourself that space to express it in your vision. And if you're watching this at home and you feel comfortable doing so, let that energy release through your body, right? If you want to scream, just let yourself scream. If you want to punch a pillow, go punch a pillow. And if you haven't tapped into anger in a long time, this might feel uncomfortable, right? You might actually be tapping into sadness or frustration first before you can actually reveal those layers of anger. And I do feel the sensation of like moving my body. right? Like air punches. So as you're tuning into this, how to consciously work with anger is to move that energy out of your body, right? Beautiful. So you can stay with that energy if you'd like, or you can come back. And I'm just going to continue to talk more about this. So bring your awareness back into your body when you're ready to do so. If you're not, you can pause the recording and just be with the energy. So the dark feminine, the dark masculine, needs to be integrated, right? It is this part of us that we actually have control. It's how we know that we haven't abandoned ourselves by reclaiming control. And I'll share a couple of like ways that I've done it personally. I've been so used to giving my power and authority away, and it just evolved in different spaces. So at first it was like, oh, I give my power away in even with strangers that I didn't know. I almost felt responsible for how they feel and how they think of me. And so as I'm like clearing these layers, I find empowerment in empowering myself and in not judging what other people think about me and just being more authentic. But then I noticed that, oh, I'm feeling that resistance now in relationships that actually matter to me, like my friendships, um, my mentors, especially. Like I had a thing with authority, right? And I valued what my friends and my family and my mentors had to say. But I also knew like I was giving my authority and my power away and my voice away little by little in these circumstances. And so being able to say, like, no, I don't actually want to partake in that is setting a boundary and it's taking your power back. When you set a boundary um, with your friend or your family or your parent and saying, actually, I don't agree with what you say, or actually, I don't want to do that, right? You are taking your power back. And then the last layer for me was with my mentors. I really, really respected my mentors. I really respected a lot of, people who are teaching these spiritual concepts on the internet and learning from their wisdom, but also recognizing when it's not in alignment with my soul. Because everyone has a different perspective, everyone has a different experience of life. And if they are sharing their truth, you may resonate with that truth, but depending on where you are in your journey. And I'll give you a very good example of this. If you have been like neglecting your well being and really putting your worth in doing and performing, listening to content that's like more like constantly improve yourself, constantly um, work on yourself, you might resonate with that because you're used to doing that. You're used to mm, thinking that there's something that needs to be fixed, right? And so you're used to constantly going, constantly doing more, constantly being more productive, and constantly healing. But really, what your soul wants and desires is okay, I understand personal development is important to you. However, what your soul wants right now is to not do anything, is to rest, is to play, right? Maybe your soul just wants to be okay with the fact that you're not perfect. And I had that experience recently. because I knew, like, from what my mentors and what my coaches were teaching, they genuinely want to help me become better. And that's what I signed up for. But when my soul needed to integrate, I actually needed to rest. I actually could not physically put any output. I even stopped going to the gym, right? Like that's my energy was pulled in. And I literally could not get myself to do anything that was like not in alignment with nurturing myself. So I didn't care about what my mentors were telling me to do. I didn't really care about anything that they were sharing at that point. I was just like, I'm going to rest. And what I really wanted was to play and to nurture and to actually like tap out of what I was doing, right? Sometimes we're like in the spiritual um community for so long. We're doing the self-help work so much that this mentality developed, at least for me, this mentality developed where I was like, I was constantly searching for more things to fix. And it wasn't actually supportive of expansion because I kept pulling myself back into what else do I need to fix, right? And so that's kind of my message is how, where do you abandon yourself, right? You can even abandon yourself in the self-help field by thinking that you need more help when in reality, you really just want to be, right? So where are you abandoning your voice, your needs, and what you want? And really take the time to tune into that to see like, okay, what do I want to do today? Or what energy am I in today? What am I aligned with today? And just let yourself be in that. If your energy is saying, I don't want to do anything. I just want to sleep all day long. Honor that because as soon as you judge it or shame it or feel like you're obligated to do something else because it's more productive, that's self-abandonment. You just abandoned your voice. Okay. So that's all I want to share about consciously working with the dark feminine, the dark masculine, just working with your anger, right? And letting that be a, a part of you reclaiming your power. I hope that is very supportive, and I look forward to seeing you in my other content.